Right now, in the very moment you hear these words, above your head continues an event that has no place in textbooks, no place in astrophysical journals, and no place in the archives of Earth's observatories. We are living in an era where the universe has, for the first time, turned its head in our direction. And it does so not with a whisper, not with a hint, but with a voice that cannot be mistaken for natural noise or instrument error. On the night of October 21st to 22nd, precisely at 02:18 Eastern Time, the Deep Space Communication Node in Madrid registered an impulse that was later named the step front. A thin, needle-like electromagnetic strike arriving from the sector where the interstellar object known by the code name Atlas III is slowly moving along its path. If you've been following the news, it's that same wanderer that behaves like neither a comet, nor an asteroid, nor any natural body at all. But everything we knew about it before was only a warm-up for what has happened in recent days. The impulse was not singular. 7 minutes later, it repeated, then again, and again, each time with minimal changes, as if the source were testing the limits of our sensitivity, like someone knocking on a door, gently at first, then more confidently. Out of the 3 deep space stations, Madrid, Canberra, and Goldstone, only 2 reliably received the signal. That alone is unbelievable, but far more important is the fact that the impulses were not simply repetitive, they were programmatic, built on the principle of multi-layered transmission. Imagine a letter written in 3 languages at once. The first language, simple, rhythmic, accessible even to primitive analysis. The second, structured, with embedded intervals and blocks. And the third, a deep modulation we are currently unable to understand or properly extract. But it exists, it is periodic, and it is not random. When NASA specialists assembled the first spectra, a murmur swept through the room, one that could not be mistaken for excitement or fear. It was that rare, icy moment when scientists realize something is being decided right now that will change humanity's understanding of itself. Atlas III altered its trajectory. A month ago, it was supposed to accelerate as it fell into the sun's gravitational well, but all calculations collapsed. The object began losing speed, not chaotically, not in steps, but smoothly, with a precision difficult to explain without assuming the object has its own control mechanism. The most frightening part, its deceleration coincided with the appearance of the first impulse, as if the object began braking to initiate contact before it passed perihelion. But if that surprises you, wait one more second. 15 hours later, the signal shifted. It became directional. And the direction was not random. The vector aligned precisely, almost mathematically exactly, with Earth. Not with orbit, not with the moon, not with a Lagrange point, with us, a direct gaze from the depths of space. When analysts calculated where the beam would intersect Earth, it turned out that its center fell in the sector between North America and the Atlantic Ocean. The margin of error was less than 1/10,000,000th of a degree. That is a level of precision beyond any natural source known to astronomy. No natural emitter can produce such a narrow, deliberate beam. At that moment, behind closed doors in NASA, people finally began saying words they had avoided for decades. Technogenic source, unnatural modulation, intentional transmission. While one department studied the signal's form, others struggled with the geometry of Atlas III itself. Infrared and radio data showed that the object is not a homogeneous body. Inside it lie voids of precise geometry, not caverns, not cracks, but symmetrical chambers arranged in a spiral pattern. Each chamber is between 5 and 70 meters in diameter. Some are connected, others are isolated. The surface layer is coated with a material of strange chemistry, a mixture of organic and inorganic compounds, as if the base structure had been disguised as cosmic dust, as if someone not only constructed the object, but artificially aged its surface over centuries. Atlas III resembles no object ever observed, but even that is not the most important part. The key is the change in signal intensity. During the first 4 hours, the impulse power increased by nearly 300%. These are not fluctuations, not interference, not solar wind effects. The growth follows a perfect exponential curve. It has a beginning, a peak, a sequence resembling a system activation, as if someone is gradually powering up nodes inside Atlas III, bringing them online. And now, the part even the most experienced specialists hesitate to say out loud. The signal has begun to rewrite its internal code. If the first impulses resembled a channel test, short, simple, repetitive, the structure now began to fold, adding new layers. New intervals appeared that were not present before. New blocks resembling headers emerged. Semigroups repeated with barely noticeable shifts, as if the source were testing the limits of our sensitivity. Like someone knocking on a door, gently at first, then more confidently. On the 19th cycle, something happened no one expected. An additional, faster modulation appeared within the main sequence. Bursts only 0.02 seconds long, too fast for most antennas. Only experimental receivers detected them. When analysts overlaid the two levels, they produced what would later be called a signed letter, something impossible to explain through randomness or natural behavior. Too ordered, too structured, too intentional. Right now, as you hear this text, the Deep Space Center is working without pause. Astronomers, cryptographers, engineers, signal processing specialists, all are trying to answer a single question hanging over us like a stone poised to fall. If Atlas III is speaking, who will speak for Earth? While scientists debate the nature of the signal, politicians debate a right to interpret it. Some demand we send a response immediately. Others are categorically opposed. There is a risk that any action may be misunderstood, but silence, too, may be interpreted as incapacity. We stand at the threshold of a moment where a mistake could become historic. Atlas III will reach perihelion in a few days, and if by that time the signal structure reaches full operational mood, we may witness something that could become either the greatest breakthrough in the history of human thought, or the beginning of a trial for which we were not prepared. Right now, the universe is breathing beside us, and for the first time, it is waiting for our reply.